Good afternoon, folks. I am Sean in Alaska. Glad you could join me here today. Hopefully, we are not having the same issues that we had last week. I'll explain that to you in detail here in a couple of minutes. But let me get this started first. The ticker on the bottom, it's 19 degrees this afternoon. Sunrise was at 9:58 a.m. Sunset will be at 3:52 p.m. for a total of 6 hours and 10 minutes of daylight. We've got a few more days left to go till we get to the 21st. Then the days start getting longer again. We're in a winter weather advisory right now until Monday morning for snow and blowing snow. Snowfall amounts are from 4 to 10 inches or 10 to 25 centimeters, with winds gusting from 25 to 35 miles per hour, which translates to 40 to 56 kilometers per hour. Hopefully everything is coming through well. I'm looking over to the side chat here to see how the audio and video is. So let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. And then we'll get back into what's going on. I just read, by the way, that little ticker going across the bottom of the screen. I update that every single week. 5x5, perfect, Joe. Thanks very much. Let me get back up to the top here. So last week, right, I was going crazy trying to figure out why I could not get the phone, which I hotspot off of, to stay connected to the program that I use, StreamYard, to be able to do these lives. And it was driving me absolutely insane. So after it was done, I went to the University of Google and I punched in a couple of search queries. And the first thing that popped up was make sure your battery saver's off. Well, because I'm off grid and because I use my phone for so much, I always have my battery saver turned on, which means it's not constantly running all the apps in the background. So the minute I turn that off, apparently that's all it took. But it was kind of fun last week anyway. Thanks to everybody for being patient with how that was. It was interesting to say the least. It's blowing out there pretty good right now. Hopefully I won't lose power. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. I'm off grid. With that said, let's get back here to the very top and say hello to everybody that popped in. I like to do this in order. I like to read all the comments and all the questions that I have in order as they appear. If I miss yours, do me a favor, leave it again in caps. If I have already answered it by the time I get to it the second time, I'll just skip over it. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure I get everybody's questions answered. Cigar Prepper, awesome to see you, my friend. Ray Martinez, how are you doing? Good to see you. Joe Montana answering the question that I left on top. Where are you from and what is your favorite Christmas movie? Because obviously, right behind me there, 'tis the season, right? Joe's in Indiana, and White Christmas is his all-time favorite Christmas movie. The music from that movie, to me, is the greatest Christmas movie ever. The music alone makes it for me. I love that. Robert, the man in blue, my op here this evening, or my moderator here this evening, Chase, Alaska, Christmas Story is his. He's probably got the fishnet stocking lampshade, too. Charles and Annalyn in the Philippines. Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation's a classic. That is a classic movie. To me, I just love it at the end when the wife finds out that the boss didn't give out bonuses. Instead, he gave out what was it, like jam or something for the year? That was just hilarious. She just unloaded on him. Everybody saying hi to everybody, and most of this was way before we even got started. So I'll scroll down here to get caught up to the newest news. Lipstick Lodge, good to see you, Linda. Awesome that you can make it today. Outside South River near Algonquin Park, old musical Christmas movies are awesome. That to me is it's the music, and it's so. White Christmas is probably one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs. The first time that movie actually appeared was in a movie called Holiday Inn, which has quickly become one of my favorite movies. But I think it was just how well developed the sets were in those movies. I mean, they really went all out with costumes and sets and music and bands, and it was just phenomenal, and that tidbit of information about Holiday Inn was actually turned on to me by an old girlfriend named Jenny, who was the one that pointed that out to me. So then, of course, I had to go find the movie and love every minute of it. Mike McKinley, how you doing, my friend? With the first question, does anyone know if heat cords are good for off-grid? So if you're talking about heat cords as in to keep your truck plugged in or your vehicle plugged in, or to keep your water pipes from thawing, they're fine if you're off grid, but you better have the battery bank to back them up because they draw a lot of watts. So you can use them, but make sure your battery bank is sized right to be able to use whatever additional electrical items that you want to use. You basically have to add all that into there, and then you want to build a cushion in. From everything that I've read, you want to build a cushion in for about 3 days. So you want to be able to have at a full charge on your battery bank, you want to be able to have about 3 days worth of power on standby in case of cloudy weather, that kind of stuff. Thank you very much, Linda. Greatly appreciate it. The tree is behind, and you can see it from one at two sides. And the reason why it's so important out this window is because that way the chickens can see the tree too, and they can know that it is in fact Christmas for chickens. And then this, because when you pull into the yard, I just want to see the tree. The crazy part is though, I have those blankets down most of the time now, just because it does allow an extra layer of insulation on the inside. Even though those are multi-pane windows, they're still pretty cold to the touch. So I don't really get to see them when I pull up. I don't leave the tree plugged in then anyway. Scrappy Cat, good to see you. Awesome to have you here today. Oh, scroll. Leslie Lindsay, how are you doing, my friend, from Eastern Oregon? Awesome to see you. Emma Morton from the UK. Awesome that you can make it today. It's kind of late for you guys. Thanks for staying up late and joining me today. Jeff Grady from Daytona, Florida. Glad you could make it. I'm doing my awesome teacup here that my daughter gave me, my youngest daughter, the Daddy-O and the Cody-O. Onto it, Aussie, way down from where it's summer right now. Glad you can make it today. Awesome to have you here. Angie, what's up? Beamer and you checking in. Very cool. Beamer's going to get to play in a whole bunch of new snow tomorrow because it is starting to snow here now, and that wind's kicking up now, so it could be an interesting night. It'll be an interesting drive to work tomorrow morning. Jonathan Davis, good to see you, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Emma checking in with Christmas. I'm imagining that's Christmas with the Cranks. All-time favorite Christmas film. Very cool. Lord Vader. Darth Vader, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Excuse me. Oh, what a night. Late December back in 63. Oh, wait. I'm aging myself there. And we've got a newfie in the house. Ray Hindi, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it today. Yep, there it was. I kind of read between the lines there. I read Taiwanese, if you didn't know that, because I type like I'm terribly. Half of my posts that I put on Facebook and half of my posts that I put on the YouTube community tab all have spelling errors in them, and it drives me nuts. Susan Anderson, good to see you. You're in Virginia for the time being, hoping to move back to Pennsylvania. Very cool. I hope that works out for you. We have got Barbara Ann Walsh, a stormy night in Birmingham, England. Well, we've got the same kind of weather, Barbara Ann. It's kind of going to be a stormy night here. I like it when it's stormy at night, though. I'm into the stormy weather in the evenings. Gloria, it is awesome to see you. Gloria Volpetti. There's a name from my past. It is wonderful. I am so glad that I got a chance to see you when I was down in California. It was super, super awesome. Thank you very much for joining me for a glass of wine. It was very, very cool. Carol L., awesome to see you. Glad you can make it today. Steve G., Phoenix, Arizona, and It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life is another one of those. I think I like that movie so much because the acting Jimmy Stewart did in that movie was phenomenal. And there's some backstory to that, but I like to keep these positive. So if you want to know the backstory to that, go ahead and look it up. But I'll just simply say that Jimmy Stewart, after World War II, had a ton of issues with PTSD. And they broke out in that movie. And if it wouldn't have been for the emotional trauma that he was going through in his personal life, he wouldn't have pulled off the acting job that he did in that movie. It was incredible, but it's a neat story to read about. Go check it out. Karen, glad you could make it. Awesome to see you. Ginger Mast, glad you could pop in. Good to have you here today. Christmas with the Cranks is your favorite too? Very cool. South Carolina for Cigar Prepper. T. Skywalker, how you doing today? T from East Texas. I've watched you build from putting the foundation. Enjoyed every video. I'm not a carpenter either, and neither am I. I'm still not a carpenter. One of the channels that came up the other day of what channels do you like to watch, and one of my favorite channels that I will watch every video that he releases is Graham, and he's got a channel called Woodness Goodness, and he calls himself a semi-amateur professional, and I'm a semi-amateur at this point. But if you guys want to check out a great channel with positive, super cool energy, check out Woodness Goodness. You'll enjoy the heck out of it. Right on. Susan says I'm coming through loud and clear. Very cool. Thank you for that. Jess at Rain Dance Bushcraft. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Robert, by the way, anybody who's in here with the channel, if you guys are interested in getting your channel shouted out during the live, by all means, just say something. Tag Curmudgeon, this gentleman right here, in it. He's a moderator, so he can share the links to your channel. I have no problem sharing links on lives while we're live. Karen says, looking, it sounded great. Perfect. Thank you very much. Deanna says, looks and sounds good here in Oklahoma. Very cool. Glad you can make it today. Anne O'Brien, welcome. Glad you could be here from a wet and windy Wexford, Ireland. It's awesome to have Irish in the house. Thank you for joining me. My cousin went to Trinity College for a couple of semesters when we were much younger. So she's like 4 years older than me. So I was probably 16 and she was like 20. And I said, "How was Ireland?" And she said, "It didn't rain for 3 days." And then I thought it was a joke until I actually talked to Irish people and they said, "No, it rains all the time here." And my brother and I went for a week, 2 weeks. I think we were there for 2 weeks. And when we were there, it snowed, it rained. I think we had one day where it didn't have bad weather at all, but it was beautiful every day there. Burman Walsh, my son is in Oregon visiting his girlfriend. Very cool. Onto it, Aussie. My Google knows near everything. So does mine. There's University of Google and there's University of YouTube, and I have attended both. I may have a master's degree in both of them at this point. I'm working on my doctorate. Right? I do too. Jess brought up and the animated ones can count too. So like a Charlie Brown Christmas, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, or um, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. You know, the original one with Rankin Bass animated characters. Yeah, super, super fun. Leslie Lindsay streams in with White Christmas. Ray Davis, a little late today. How's it going? It's going fantastic, Ray. I did start everything about 3.5 minutes early because I thought, I have that little intro there, and Russell from Raspberry Rock always has something going on like for 5 minutes before his live starts. And that way, when we started at exactly 3 o'clock, we were live at 3 o'clock. So I think I might do that going forward. That intro will change on the first of the year. It's the intro I had for 2023, so I thought I'd keep it there. The next one that I do after this will be more everything that happened this year. So it'll bring a lot of it up to date. CB, country boy, trapped in the city. How are you? Awesome to see you. Yeah, they are. Oh, they're legit. The old musical Christmas movies are awesome. Skipper, good to see you. I don't think I'm going to try and pronounce your last name. I might. Chris Jansen from Bornholm, Denmark. Awesome to have you here today. Hopefully I got your name pronounced right. Ari Hill, good to see you. Cool tree. Any gifts under it yet? No. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, here's one. Let me show you one that's pretty cool that a buddy of mine, Lone Moose, Alaska, Bill. So he's got a YouTube channel. He made me this, and I don't know how well you can see it. Right? There's the state of Alaska, Sean, and the moose down there on the bottom, and that's for my 1911. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Other than that, not really. But I'm not really about all the presents. I mean, I'm more about giving them than I am about receiving them. I'm more about everything else that Christmas has to do with. I love Christmas. My favorite season of the year. Christmas vacation is yours, Ray. Very cool. Wendy Benjamin, good to see you. Awesome to have you here today. Old School Mick says Home Alone is pretty good as well. It is, and I'm surprised nobody's mentioned the ultimate Christmas movie yet. I'll just keep scrolling and we'll see if somebody gets the ultimate Christmas movie. Debbie DeForge, good to see you. Hello, everyone. And Sean, favorite music movie is, or favorite, music movie, White Christmas. Exactly. Right? It's a Wonderful Life. Angie's gonna bail. There you go. Angie named it Die Hard, a Christmas classic. I'll tell you guys a story. So for those that don't really know, what I do when I'm not doing the YouTube thing here on the cabin, I work full time in town in a grocery store, and we have this video display. One year, I kept taking, they have the big holiday Christmas movie display, and then they have the other video display that you can buy DVDs and Blu-rays and that kind of stuff. Well, one year, I kept walking over to the regular DVD display and grabbing all the Die Hard movies and moving them over to the Christmas movie thing. And I come to work the next morning, and somebody would have taken them and moved them back. And we did this for the entire season, and they sold every Die Hard movie off of that rack, off of the Christmas display. A Star Wars Christmas special. No, God, no. Doug Snelling, how you doing, my friend? 32 there in Indiana. Awesome that you can make it today. It's chilly, but it's not bad. I'd pretty much kill for 32 right now. I mean, 20 is not bad. The cabin's staying warm inside, but when it's 32, I can run the heater on low. You're trying to say this to Jay and Jen, but no answer. What was that, Mike? Yeah, elaborate a little bit. Fill me in on the first part of the conversation because I think I missed that. Thank you very much for that, Robert. Give him a thumbs up, folks. So the thumbs up is awesome when I'm doing a live, especially more than anything, because while I'm live, if I get a bunch of thumbs up, YouTube says, hey, there's a bunch of people watching this guy live right now, and he's very interesting. Or that means that, there's folks that are very interested in what he's doing with all the thumbs up. So it suggests it to other people who might be interested in that content. And with my lives, I've been really lucky. I don't often get people in here that are not cool, trolls, that kind of stuff. It's usually just awesome folks. So I allow everybody to comment. You don't have to be a member of my channel or anything to participate in these lives. I just think they're super fun to do. CK, glad to see you. Awesome that you can make it today. We are. Yeah, yes and no. By the standards of where I'm from, that's, a normal thing. At least a foot, if not a couple of feet in a night. But for here, that's quite a bit of snow. Christine Hammerly, is this you, Jack? Is this you, Kodiak? He told me he watches all the time, but he's always on his wife's YouTube account, so I got to think it's you, Jack. Skipper, awesome. Thank you very much for joining the channel. I greatly appreciate that. That's super, super cool. Russ, Robout Outdoors from Oregon, Christmas vacation. Very cool. No snow there yet, just rain, Mike. If I ever have my druthers, I don't mind a little bit of rain in the spring, obviously, to melt everything off and to get the ground ready for whatever's going to happen for all the plants to start growing and stuff. But if I have a choice between the two, I'd rather have snow because you can get out and do stuff in the snow. When it's raining, it's just miserable. Yeah, I saw that, Robert. This storm that's hitting us now is kind of splitting. So it's not really going towards Anchorage that much. What it's doing is it's like I'm on the Kenai Peninsula. So here's the state of Alaska. Okay. That's the best way that I could, maybe probably easier for you to understand it like this, right? Here's the state of Alaska. This would be the Cook Inlet. This would be the Aleutian Islands, coming down this way. And this would be, Ketchikan, well, Valdez is like right. Oh, I guess Valdez would be right. Oh, I guess it'd be more like this. Anyway, Valdez is like right up here. So this storm is coming up and it's kind of splitting a little bit off this way. And most of it is going up the side here and slamming Valdez. They get a ton of snow there. So they're getting hammered, I'm sure. Debbie's from Powell River, British Columbia, Canada. BC is beautiful. God, British Columbia is beautiful. Richard Capel Sr., glad you can make it, my friend. Awesome to have you today. Northern Wisconsin, in the house. And O'Brien, I love the Christmas tree. My all-time favorite Christmas movie is Miracle on 34th Street, which I used to watch every year, the original black and white one, as a child on Thanksgiving Day. So I'd watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, then I'd watch A Miracle on 34th Street, and then the other movie that would always play on Thanksgiving Day when I was a kid growing up was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I love them. I love them all. Yeah, I figured it was late there. It's about an 8-hour time difference from me to you. JD, what's happening, my friend? If you didn't notice, sir, there's the card that you and Rhonda sent to me. I put it up on the tree. Super awesome. Super, super awesome. Yeah, I thought it was you, Jack. I figured it was you. Sunshine, welcome. Glad you could make it all the way over from Kenai. Yeah, you guys are windy. I was over at the orange store this morning picking up a new tool, and man, it was blowing like a son of a gun there. Eves L, glad you can make it today. Awesome to have you here. Trudy, welcome. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you. Holidays, definitely. Ray Hindy, love the Newfie Irish Music Camp. I love it too. I love it. Every year, Newfoundland has the Celtic. They have like a big Celtic music festival, and I always seem to find videos of it on YouTube, and I'll just have it playing all the time. I love that music. Ooh, reaching way back, Joe. The 1938 version of A Christmas Carol. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. Sean, how's the stove hunt going? If you're talking about stove as in kitchen stove, I kind of know which one I want now. I'm just waiting to buy it. I'm kind of a tightwad. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, if I can get a deal on something, I will definitely go for the deal every time. And I don't like to have too many outstanding bills if I can avoid not to have them. It took me a long time to get myself financially where I'm at. I was not always in a good financial spot. Matter of fact, for most of my life, I wasn't. So I pay my truck off this month. And then I'm probably going to wait a month or two and I'll end up buying that stove around maybe January, February. I'll probably order the stove and have it shipped up here. I'm probably going to buy it through Home Depot because I can get free shipping on anything I buy from them. Like when I bought my original generator, even though they don't have it up here and they say they can't ship it up here, I walked in and talked to them. They said they just ship it to their store in Washington, where all of their freight normally comes from, their distribution center there. And then they just load it on the barge and ship it up. It just takes an extra couple of weeks to get here. But I have one picked out. So Brad Blinko, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Stacy, very cool. Thank you very much. Debbie McBride, you raised around Fairbanks, enjoy watching the videos and getting to reminisce on Alaska, right? I used to live out on Chena Hot Springs Road. I love the interior. The winters are brutal. The summers are phenomenal in the interior. And that to me, especially that area out there in Two Rivers on Chena Hot Springs Road, reminded me so much of the Alaska that is portrayed on TV. It's super, super cool. There's another vote for the black and white movie Scrooge from Mike. Very cool. Kristen, glad you can make it, Christy. Awesome to see you. Warren, how's it going, my friend? Glad you could join in. Susan, welcome from Ontario, Canada. It's a Wonderful Life and Elf. Elf is a great movie. I am not a really big fan of Will Ferrell, but he has made some movies that are on my top list of movies that I will never change the channel if they come on television. But I'm not a super huge fan of his. He's made a ton of movies, but there's a couple of them that Elf is one that's right on the top of the list. Navy Dave, welcome, my friend. Glad you could make it. Holy smokes, we have over 100 folks in here right now. That is very cool. I don't think I remember having more than 100 people in here at a time. Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas from Alaska. Sandra, welcome. From Michigan, awesome to have you here. Julie Knight, glad you could catch a live. Hello from Illinois. Hello from Funny River, Alaska. Glad to have you here. Yep, that's it, Mike. Holiday Inn, Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. Great movie. Fred Astaire is another one of those actors that I've never seen him in anything that I have not enjoyed. And for me, it was super cool when he played Starbucks in the original Battlestar Galactica television series. He played Starbucks' possible father, and he was a con man in there, and he was fantastic. Henry Leslie, Vermont, welcome, my friend. Glad to see you. Jonelle Blackman, welcome. From Iowa, and your favorite movie is Home Alone for Christmas. Very cool. Art, Deep South Alabama, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. You don't have to be sending me those pictures all the time of you sitting around in short pants and 75 degrees weather. Just rub it in, Art. Just rub it in. Because every time you do, I'm going to send you a picture back of snow. And then you'll see what you're missing up here. Whiskey Harbor, glad you can make it, my friend. Awesome to see you. Mickey Rooney, Home for Christmas. There's another good movie. There's a ton of great movies, right? Lindsay Salmons, what's happening? Speaking of the interior, welcome, brother. Good to see you. Barbara Ann Walsh. It's called the Emerald Isle because it rains so much, so the grass is so green, right? That was a funny trip too, because we went in March. We were there for St. Patrick's Day, which is a bigger deal, obviously, in America than it is in Ireland. But I mean, as far as a party goes, but the Irish have made it a big deal because there's so many Irish in America. But I left Alaska, met my brother in Seattle. It snowed in Seattle. Then we went to Ireland, and we got to Ireland, and it snowed for like 2 days in Dublin while we were there. My brother's all, dude, quit bringing this stuff with you. Elf with Will Ferrell and Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out, right? I agree. It's Cigar Prepper. It's a beautiful holster. Bill's made me a bunch of different stuff. He leather's his hobby, and he's been playing around with it quite a bit. And he sent that up to me, and I thought, man, that is super cool. Winwaro, good to see you, my friend. Westerners from Ontario, not hearing Elf. Elf's been answered a couple of times, Wayne. You can't go wrong with a 45 1911, can you? Not at all. Not at all. When I want something that's going to knock something down or make it think twice, that's the one I'm going to carry. I had a 460 BFR that I won in a contest, in a raffle up here in Alaska, because we could do raffles for that kind of stuff up here. And I never actually fired the gun, but man, it was a beast. I mean, you could hold it up with one hand, but I wouldn't even think about firing it with less than two because it was huge. Die Hard, yes. Just Die Hard. The ultimate Christmas movie. Awesome, I did. I pronounced it properly. Very cool. Frank Short, awesome to see you, my friend. My day was fantastic. I did laundry, though, so, Sundays are real laid back for me. Did laundry, came home, did a few things around the house, got the kitchen all cleaned up. Nothing fancy for dinner tonight. I'm just going to do some soup. Soup and garlic bread probably for dinner. But yeah, it was a nice, Sundays are laid back for me. I enjoy them. I'm going to scroll through here a little faster and see if I've missed anybody. Kyle 505, awesome to see you. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Steve Martin and John Candy. Great movie. Great movie. I'm kind of a movie guy. Sound of Music is, in fact, a Christmas movie. Part of it is. It's a beautiful movie as well. Everybody's jumping on the Die Hard train now. I love it. I love it. Oh, the heat cords. You were talking about the heat cords. Yeah. And again, so for anybody who's thinking that they might eventually be interested in doing this kind of a lifestyle, I'm pretty lucky because when I lived in the trailer for the first couple of years on this property, my power requirements were so limited and so small that I haven't really expanded much above that. And because of that, my power needs are very small. But there are a ton of websites. If you're interested in finding out what it would take to power everything that you would need, that you think you would need for your home, you could just use University of Google again and type in solar battery calculator. And that'll usually take you to a website that will give you all the information where you can plug in if you're going to have a full-size refrigerator, a full-size freezer, if you're going to run a stereo, if you're going to run a blow dryer, if you're going to run a coffee machine. And you could calculate how many hours per day that you're going to run all that. And when it's done, it'll ask you, normally we say that you should have, say, 2 days or 2.5 days of power availability in your battery bank. You can actually adjust that number as well. So for somebody like me in Alaska or my buddy Todd across the street, with 6 hours of daylight, of which you might only have 1 hour where the sun is up enough to get anything on your solar panels, hardly at all. We would need multiple days of battery storage here. And the further north you get, the more you're going to need. So solar here is not as feasible as everybody would think. But in the summer, it would be nice to have all the refrigeration. I'd have all the power I need, right? But it would be nice to have all the refrigeration and everything set up. There's no way I could use all that power. But you can Google solar battery requirements or solar battery calculator, and it'll take you right to a site that's free. You won't have to punch in anything. Oh, everybody's saying hi, talking to each other. Lindsay's right here. It's a light winter so far. I was watching Rudy at Alaska Prepper the other day, and he was talking about it was 22 below zero, and he goes, which isn't that cold. They haven't been that cold for this time of year. And you can, Lindsay, you can go ahead and you could chime in on this as well. And I just keep telling everybody, every day above zero is one day closer to breakup. I am okay with as mild as this winter wants to be. Julie Knight, the Home Alone movies have become a tradition in my home because of my granddaughter. We watch them multiple times in the month of December. They'll be a classic for her when she gets older. So I was a divorced dad, and so I was a single father. My daughters, I have two daughters. They were always with me at Christmas, and I would pick them up from their mom's house and bring them over to my place because they lived on Highway 108 in California, and I lived on Highway 4, which was the next highway north. So I would come over and I'd pick them up, and we would stop off, and I would go to rent the Santa Claus movie every year. And I must have done this 4 years in a row. This was ridiculous. And I would invariably grab the wrong version. I would grab the Dudley Moore version. And it got to be the biggest joke in the family. So I got to the point where I would make sure that I always had a copy of the Dudley Moore version so that when I get the kids all excited, you ready? We're ready. Dad, you get the right movie? I got the right movie, girls. I got the right movie. And I would purposely put the Dudley Moore movie in just so that they would think, oh, he did it again. Yeah, see, it's been warm here. It's been warm in the interior. On to it, Aussie. Sean, I'm normally a Grinch, but this year I joined in with my kids and put up the tree. It was actually fun. First time ever. Very cool. That makes me very happy. Christmas is not about what everybody thinks it's about. It's just a neat time to hang out with people you haven't hung out with in forever and to enjoy life. And I try to do that every day anyway, but that comment makes me smile. That's very cool. Karen wants to know how the ladies in Black Beauties are doing. Well, they're outside right now. So, right now they're running in and out with the wind and the snow blowing around. They're doing fantastic so far. I've got some of the reds are actually molting right now too, which is kind of crazy. And that's who she's referring to when she says the ladies. And then the Black Beauties are the Black Australorps. But I haven't lost any chickens yet this winter, knock on wood. But we haven't had the cold spells, even though they're molting. I've been pretty lucky. Minus 18 right now in Fairbanks, Alaska, which is really warm for this time of year. That is nice. Ouch. 90-mile-an-hour winds. Oof. That's crazy. Robin Fletcher, hello from Oklahoma. Well, hello from Funny River, Alaska. Glad you could make it today. Jess, my wife's family is all about Sound of Music. They watch it every year in French. Very cool. Very cool. Julie Knight, I'd love to live in Alaska on a small homestead in a cabin. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing, right? I mean, it's not that big of a piece of property, but I've got chickens and we'll have some other stuff down the road too. And I love it. I love there's never been a point in this entire journey where I have second guessed myself and said I made a mistake. This has been the greatest thing that I have ever done. Yeah, one of my daughters is trying to call me right now because I didn't send her a message saying I was live today. She's on her own. Oh, let me get through here. Right, exactly. Yeah, and that was sad. That was sad to hear that he passed. Every Christmas is all about Fairy Tale in New York on the speakers. I'm going to scroll through here. Anonymous, good to see you, my friend. Glad you can make it today. I love that handle. That is very cool. Right? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Old but good. Very awesome. Robin Fletcher, I love watching the kiddie shows for Christmas. I'm a tightwad. I hate debt. My car is paid off too. I owe 16 on your house. Nice. See, it's a good feeling. It's an awesome, awesome feeling. PTL Fabrication, welcome. Glad you could make it from the mountains of Pennsylvania. Good to have you here today. So I can get stuff. They say they don't deliver up here. You save you a ton of money. Yeah, that's true. You can. You can walk in and just talk to them at the counter. That's what I did. I said, hey, that's when I had the Westinghouse generator. I said, I want this generator. You don't have it in your store. It says you don't ship it here. And he goes, no, we can do it. I don't know if they can do that for everything, but he says, I can make that happen. So I got 2 delivery notices when they did that. I got the first delivery notice saying it was ready to pick up at their store in Seattle. Right. And then I got the second delivery notice that said it was available to pick up at their store in Kenai. So they can do it for some items. I don't know if they can do it for everything. I don't want to speak for them. Cozy Corner Cabin, welcome. Glad to see you. Awesome that you could make it today. Kind of scrolling faster because I'm getting behind and I hate being behind. Russell at Raspberry Rock Off Grid Office Christmas Party. Nice, nice. So yeah, lately, I'm going to be with Ari Hill on this one because lately there's been a series of movies coming out every year that are just adult bad Christmas movies. And he's talking about Bad Santa, but the one that I saw that kind of blew my mind was Fat Man. And it was, you're not watching it with your kids. Do not watch that movie with your children. But it was a fantastic movie. Kelly Nichols, hello from Tennessee and welcome from Funny River, Alaska. Glad you can make it today. The George C. Scott version is a great version of A Christmas Carol. It is a great version. I enjoy that movie too. Well, thank you very much, Robin. It's a fake tree. It's a fake tree with fake lights or with LED lights, and I can run it a long time on the battery, super long time. But it's got like 4 settings, so I can make the lights all white, or I can make them all multicolored like they are now, or then I could push the button again and it'll go light, then multicolor, then light, and then my usual setting is the fade, so it'll fade from white to multicolor, fade from multicolor back to white. It's pretty calming. I like it. But thank you for that. Frank says, Sean, you got 1943 government issued Springfield. Very cool. Very cool. Mine's a Remington. So, but yeah, Springfield will be, they last forever. The design of that gun is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Joe's the first one who's mentioned anything about ads so far, but I set them at the absolute largest setting that I could possibly pick. So let me know if it becomes an issue. And if it does, I will take them out completely. And then I'll just set them up after the live. Because if you haven't seen this live yet, you guys all have because you're here now. I do allow these lives to be played through again. So they stay on the channel forever. And I do that because we get links in here and we get information in here, and somebody might benefit from something that was said or shared on the live. So that's why I do it. But if ads become an issue, I'll just eliminate them completely from the lives. I'll set it to absolute 0. I'll turn it off so it's not monetized, and then I'll readjust it for the playback. Oh, it looks like everybody got it, right? You got one. Jess got one. Okay, but I said it like I said. So if that's the first one, we've been live for 41 minutes now. So that's not bad then. Steve G, welcome, my friend. Glad you could make it. Like the white tree, we finally got some shovelable snow in central Maine. Very cool. Yeah, it's a fake flocked tree because when I was a kid, I always wanted a live flocked tree, and my dad's all, yeah, we're not buying that. So we'd buy the cans of snow that later we found out were asbestos. Your son had a gun that shot blanks and ran up the garden of the house, and you broke the sound barrier. It's such a different thing in other countries than it is here. I mean, here it's an everyday thing. I'll be working at the grocery store and people will walk in open carrying, so, open carry means that they've got a gun on their person out in plain sight for everybody to see. And it's not a big deal here at all. But in California, it was a much bigger deal if you did that. There were some issues if you did that. So it all depends on where you're at. Here, it's more of a necessity than it is. It's a toy still. Don't get me wrong. But, if you spend a lot of time out in the woods, and I spend quite a bit of time outside, you probably want to have something handy just in case. I have no ideas of grandeur that I'm going to stop a large animal like a grizzly bear or something with what I have, but hopefully I will scare them with the noise. Or if my buddy Will is with me, I've told him I don't have to outrun the bear, dude. I just have to shoot you in the knee, and then the bear gets you first, and I run away. So, oh, you just lost home internet. Wow, that's crazy. I've been pretty lucky so far. I don't think I've really, other than last weekend when I was a knucklehead, I haven't really had any internet issues this year. There's a channel on YouTube called Home Free Alaska, and Joe, that's on the channel, does great explaining a solar setup, and he's good at it. Yeah, there's some of these people are. My buddy Todd across the street has got his whole house. He uses everything. I mean, he uses a microwave, he uses an air fryer, he uses all this stuff. I don't know that I ever want to go that much back into electrical needs again. I don't think I ever want to be there again. I'm pretty happy cooking in an oven, in a propane oven. I'm pretty happy with the limited light that I have. During the winter, I'm in bed early anyway, so it's nice. And then during the summer, I'm outside. So, yeah, I don't think that I'll ever get back into the need of that much electrical appliance in my life. Right? That is, Emma, that is the movie that I'm talking about, the Dudley Moore version. Royce, how you doing, my friend? Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation. Hello from Minnesota. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Beto, welcome. I'm glad you can make it. BLR from Minnesota as well. Awesome to see you, my friend. Christmas with the Cranks has had quite a few comments in here that folks like him as one of their favorite Christmas movies. That's kind of surprises me. I mean, it's a fun movie, but that kind of surprises me. Raymondell, hello in Indiana. Glad to see you, my friend. I'd love to live in interior Alaska myself. You live in the woods, Ray? I live in the woods too. Interior Alaska has woods, but it also has tundra, open areas. And it's a beautiful area, but it's a totally different preparation than what I have to do down here. So I've mentioned them quite a few times. If you watch Simple Living Alaska and you watch what they're going through now as it's starting to get cold, and they're pretty lucky because it's been mild this year compared to what they had to do to get ready for winter at their last place. It's totally night and day. It's a very different lifestyle. But I was just talking to my buddy Will when he was over today, and it's weird because there's so many things to do inside in Fairbanks, in the Fairbanks area. So I mean, there's a bunch of indoor activities that will keep you active because it is brutally cold in winter. So they've kind of prepped their area for that. Those businesses have thrived pretty well. And then in the summer, obviously, everybody's outside there too. Jess, wish you were a tighter wad. Even my whiskey expenses are too big. Bill in Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead. Glad you can get. You just got back from your cabin. Very cool. Glad you can make it today. Alex, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. I sent you an email today. Alex, super awesome. Alex sent me a booster for the Wi-Fi or for the cell phone. So for my Wi-Fi signal, but it's going to take me a bit to get it set up because I got to put it up on a pole because I'm not going to mount it onto the cabin. I don't want to mount anything that much onto the cabin that I don't have to before I get the siding on. And with the weather that I'm having right now, I don't think that's going to happen very quickly. But obviously, Alex, this time it's working. And thank you, brother. Very, very cool. Oh, your whole community lost power. Wow, crazy. Again, if I miss your comment, feel free to type it in as many times as you need to until I acknowledge it, because I do want to answer any comments or questions that I get. Because I'm going to scroll through here pretty fast just to see where everybody's at. I'm pretty far behind. Gaba from Georgia, welcome. Good to see you. Also, if I miss saying something or if I miss saying hello to you, Bill, Lone Moose, I showed the holster that you made for me, dude. It was awesome. Everybody loves it. Beautiful, beautiful holster. Scrooge with Bill Murray, I saw in the movie theater. And that was a great movie. That was a great movie. I really liked how that ended. But Bill Murray's another one of those actors that I've never seen a movie with him I didn't enjoy. And probably one of my favorites is The Razor's Edge, which is a very serious movie. And Bill Murray stars in that, and it's a fantastic movie. Ray Davis says they're supposed to get their first freeze in Austin in the morning. Scrolling through here, I got Kyle. Trail Camp Pete, good to see my friend. Glad you can make it. And I'm caught up at this point, which is awesome. Very cool. Only took me 48 minutes to get caught up. Linda Lipstick Lodge, yep, propane stove, range hood. When the Jenny is on, drip coffee, no blow dryer, but then I haven't used one in years. Direct vent propane furnace, nice, yeah. So very limited on your electrical requirements there. Obviously, I don't use a blow dryer anymore either. Haven't had to for a long time. I only get my hair cut like twice a year. Cool deal. Thanks. If anyone wants a custom build holster, they can reach out to you. See, that is super cool. That is super cool, Bill. Beto, it's Sean, Alaska. Love the Coopers. John Goodman, Diane Keaton. It's a good Christmas movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John Candy and Steve Martin. Another excellent film. Yep, both good movies. Navy Dave, you've convinced me to get a backup generator with your Honda purchase. Ordered me a Champion 2500 inverter. Very cool. Nice, nice. The only issue I've had with the new generator so far is, for whatever reason, down here on the Kenai Peninsula, man, we have an issue with moisture and fuel. We have a big issue with water and fuel, and I got some, and that's been a struggle going forward. But Todd is pretty good with engines and with the small stuff, generators and stuff like that. And so he showed me a couple of tricks that I could do. So when I have big issues where it's really struggling and really fighting to run, I drain the carburetor, I drain all the fuel out of it, and then let it refill back up, because what will happen is that water will get up there in that carburetor and kind of mess it all up. So you just drain that out and it fires right back up again. And it's not much of a drain. It's not even maybe probably 2 tablespoons full of fuel coming out of there, because it's such a small generator. But I love that Honda. I had it running for a couple of hours today just to top everything off, and it works fantastic for me. Joseph, welcome, my friend. You're never late, Joseph. A Philadelphian arrives whenever he needs to. William Costa, glad you can make it, my friend. You're from Brazil and like to know how to live alone. Do I have a neighbor? Yes, I have neighbors. So they're not close though. So like I could be out here doing stuff in my yard, my generator's running, and Todd never hears it. When Todd's generator's running, he lives across the street and down the road. I never hear it. I hear vehicles drive by the property because I am off of a road. And obviously I hear the heavy equipment when they're clearing my road, but I have neighbors around me, and I'm in town every day at work. So, Monday through Friday. So it's not, I'm not isolated by any shake of the imagination. Steve, Groundhog Day feels like a Christmas movie to me with all the winter stuff in it. Yeah. So what's the winter adventure plan this year? I don't know. I'm thinking I might take a trip up to Chena Hot Springs Resort. It'd be kind of fun to go up there and do the hot springs, when it's brutal cold. It'd be kind of nice to take a trip up there. I might. I don't really get out that much in the winter because I'm usually doing stuff around here and staying pretty close to home, especially with everything I've got to do in the cabin this winter before the weather turns nice again and I'll be outside. But it would be nice to make a trip up there. Oh, yeah, and ice fishing. Ice fishing would be fun this year. I wouldn't mind that. Steve G. Hey, Goober. I think that's your brother, right, Dave? Yeah. Bill the Lone Moose, 75. He's in Texas, too. South Texas, 75 down there yesterday. First freeze warning tonight. Candles and rechargeable lights at night. Let me show you a light that I have that's super cool. So I have 2 of these, right? And they're just table lamps, but they're USB lights. So you charge them. I don't know if you can see that, right? You charge them with a USB Type-C cord right there off of my inverter. So when they start to run low, I charge them. But the charge on these lasts, I'm telling you, it lasts probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks before I have to top them off again. Super inexpensive. I found them on Amazon, put them on my gift list, and I think Scott at Hester's Garage was the one who sent. I'm pretty sure it was him that sent me these. But I have one I keep downstairs, and I have one I keep upstairs next to the bed. So when I'm reading at night, I've got one that I can turn on. And then when I'm not using those, I'm using the headlamps, but they're just cheapo. Just cheap little headlamps, right? And they take 3 AAA batteries. I thought of going rechargeable on these, but it's such a hassle to have to charge those back up, and I don't know how long they would last. I will tell you that with 3 AAA batteries in those, they last about 2 years before I have to worry about replacing the batteries. And I don't know how long the rechargeable ones, the USB ones, would last. But that's my extra lighting here at the cabin. That, and I have one of these ring lights that I'm using today. Normally I don't use it. Right, and that's also USB powered. So right now I've got it plugged into the OPS 1800 power storage unit that I have here. And I did a review for them. It's been a great unit. I'm telling you, I use that so much, it's crazy. But I usually don't have to use a ring light unless like I've got light coming in the window behind me. So if I didn't have that light on right now, I'd be totally dark. But that's what I have for lighting. Craig Porter, hello from snowy Homer. Is it July yet? Curses, don't even say July, because then everybody will be here salmon fishing, and then you'll be full of people halibut fishing. You guys are getting more snow than we are today. It's starting to snow more here now, but nothing of any depth yet. Wow, see, $2,700 was the final tally for Angie. Lives up here. We worked together for a couple of years, and her mom got a tank full of water and gas, and it was $2,700 to get that car running again. That's crazy. Ouch. Seafoam, I have a can of it over there. I don't like using it all the time. Every couple of tanks, I'll put a capful in that little generator, but I also use heat. Every couple of tanks, I'll put a couple of capfuls of heat, the yellow bottle, in there as well. The heat is more for the moisture. From the guy at the Honda shop, when I was telling him the original problems I had when I found out that my spark arrestor was plugged, which I should have figured out on my own because that happened before. What he told me with the Seafoam is use it every 5 to 10 tanks of fuel, put a cap in there, because it'll clean the whole system out. It'll clean your carburetor, it'll clean everything. So I don't think I would use any product every single time other than fuel, but sparingly on the other stuff. Alan Grivet, good to see you, my friend. Glad you can make it from West Virginia. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. I greatly appreciate that. John Friedel, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, along Lake Superior, get an average of it's more than, probably closer to 200 inches of a year there. It's not 2 p.m. inches. I will definitely, Lindsay. I'll let you know if I head up that way. We'll get together and grab a steak and a beer. Maybe hit the Turtle Club. That'd be kind of nice. I haven't had a good turtle cut prime rib in quite a while. Man, we're closing in on an hour fast. Ashley Anderson, welcome. Glad you can make it today. Oh yeah, there we go. I guessed it right. 200 inches of snow there. You guys get hammered. You guys get lake effect snows and everything else. Yeah, there we go. Yep, his brother. Those lamps Amazon won't send there, huh? That's crazy. I didn't have any problem getting them, and usually they're tight about sending anything to Alaska, but they didn't have any issue sending those at all. I wonder why they won't send them to you. What about Amazon Canada? Or is that what you're looking on, is Amazon Canada? Right, Ray? You see the wind. If you look out over, there we go. Look out over that window. You can see the trees swaying out there. That's the view out to the chickens, right out that window. Definitely, Lindsay. Hook me up, man. If you get a chance to come down here, just send me a message. We'll get together and I'll take you down. We'll go salmon fishing. We'll have a blast, man. We'll catch some fish. We'll jerk some lips. There's another one for the George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol. It is a great movie. He is a great Ebenezer Scrooge, but he was another great actor, right? He was another phenomenal actor. Scrolling through here to get all caught up again. There we go. I think I'm all caught up here. Ready. Ray's saying they had about 10 inches last week, but the rain took it all. And that happens, I think, more often than not on your side of Canada, man, because I've got some channels that I watch over there. They'll have like 4 feet of snow, and then the rain will come through, and 3 or 4 episodes later, there's nothing but mud. I mean, it's all melted. And oh man, I'm drawing a blank on his channel. I can see his face right now. His name is Troy. He built a cabin out. He built a log cabin, and he's in Newfoundland. And his cabin's off grid, and he goes out there all the time. And God, I'm just drawing a total blank on him right now, on his name. His daughter's Nevaeh. But I watch a lot of his videos, and one week I'll watch him, and he'll be struggling to get out to the cabin, even on the track bike, the track 4-wheeler that he's got. And then the next week he's struggling to get the cabin because it's, he's going through rivers and streams. Deborah Thacker, well, good to see you. Glad you can make it today. You're in the hills of Kentucky, and like all the Christmas movies, you'll take snow anytime. I will take snow anytime over tornadoes, too. I'll take earthquakes anytime over tornadoes. Yeah, definitely. My heart goes out to those folks that have lost so much to those instant storms. It's like 1 minute everything's fine, 30 minutes later an entire neighborhood's gone. That's crazy. Alex, hope the booster will help. I could broadcast in 3D. You don't need to see this in 3D. This is not necessary in 3D. We're winding down to the end, guys. Pretty much just about done for the evening. I want to thank every single person that shows up for these lives and every single person that watches the videos. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. The lives are super awesome to me because it gives me a chance to talk one-on-one with you guys in real time. I try to answer the comments every week right as soon as I possibly can. Usually I start about 2 hours after video starts or after video is uploaded, and that gives me a chance to answer a whole bunch at once. But if I ever miss your comment on a video, send me a message, leave another comment. I'll try and get to it just like I do here in the live chats. They're super fun, and they really kind of break up the winter for me, which I greatly appreciate. What's coming up? The next video, I started doing some work on something that'll make Russell very happy. And I'll just leave it at that. The video after that, even more work on what's making Russell happy. And then I'm looking at the kitchen, and I'm thinking it's about time to learn how to build cabinets. So I want to probably sheetrock the entire inside of the kitchen, even though I said I didn't want to do sheetrock. I'm probably going to do that just because it'll be a good surface to put everything else on. And then I'll be building kitchen cabinets. And then that means the kitchen gets a floor, and the kitchen gets an oven, and the kitchen becomes a kitchen. So that's kind of what I got looking forward to going forward. I will be live every Sunday for the rest of the year. I will also be live on Christmas Day, and I will be live on New Year's Day. So the Christmas Day live and the New Year's Day live will run quite a bit longer than the usual hour that we spend together. And I do that mainly for folks that, on Christmas Day, for folks that don't have anybody to hang out with and they just want to hang out and chat. I'll be here for that. And with that said, thank you guys very much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic week. As always, thanks for the support, and thanks for hanging out with me and this whole journey all the way through. You guys have a great, great day. I will talk to you later. I am Sean in Alaska, and I am out. See you guys. Where's that button at? This live went pretty good. I didn't lose signal once. I'm happy.